I appreciate every single person here. I really want to thank Dennis Smith for coming. Dennis and I were high school principals together, and Dennis showed me the ropes. So, Dennis, I appreciate you coming. The reason people say all the time, why are you running? You know, you're retired, you play golf, you know, you don't have to do anything. And, you know, and the worst thing somebody can call me is a politician. I've been a high school principal and a coach, and I've been called every name in the book, but being called a politician may be the worst. So call me an educator, okay? And, you know, I know most everybody here, and I would say that 95% or more of us are products of public school, okay? And I look around, and we turned out pretty good. And I owe a lot to public schools. I learned how to read and write. I learned how to act with other people most of the time. I learned socialization skills. And folks, in Wilkes and Alexander County, our schools are more than just a place of education. They're community centers. And I've said this several times. When I was at West Wilkes High School, I don't care how many football games we won, but on Friday night, the whole community was there because they supported public schools. And public schools are on the ballot in North Carolina. Now, President Biden says that our democracy is on the ballot, but in North Carolina, public schools are on the ballot. We have a person running for the state superintendent of public schools who doesn't believe in public schools and is an advocate of homeschooling. And I just don't understand that. I don't understand that. The reason I'm running is I owe public schools a lot. I owe them for what I learned. I owe them for a good job that I had for many years. And I owe public schools for the group that's coming behind us. Got 3 granddaughters over there I owe public schools to. And I owe public schools to your children and your grandchildren. And if we don't do something, public schools are not going to be there anymore. The voucher system, I read an article today. The voucher system is giving 199% increase. The General Assembly, the voucher system, 199% increase for next year. And they gave public schools a 3% increase. Now, it doesn't take long for that to ruin public schools. And that's the reason I'm running, folks. I mean, I'm not running for power. I had that as a principal and I hated it. And I'm running to try to save our public schools. And I need your support. The last thing I'm going to say is I appreciate the donations. You didn't have to do that. I want to hear, this is not a lot of fun, but I want tonight to be fun. And so far I've had a great time. I would like to see some more of you dancing so that if I get out there, y'all can cover me up. But I want to say this about how you can help. Because everybody says, how can I help? How can I help? How can I help? I'll give you an example. On primary day, I was at YMCA running on the treadmill. And I see Jim McCrae there all the time. I see several of the rest of you there at the Y working out. And I was working out, and it was about 5:30 in the afternoon, and 2 people came up to me, and they said, we know you know a lot about education. Who should we vote for the school board? And I told them. I said, these 2 people right here are the 2 people that I think will do the best job for the school board. They said, okay, so we're going to vote for them. You can do that too. Word of mouth is the best campaign I could have. I am not going to knock on doors. I'm afraid of getting dog bit. I am not going to call people because nobody answers the phone anyway. Nobody wants to be harassed. And I'm not going to spend campaign dollars on sending out things in the mail that wind up in the trash can. But if you want to help, everybody tells 6 or 8 of their friends. because you know people that I don't know. And if you can contact them and tell them my message about public education, then I've got a chance. Now, I have made it a point not to talk about the parties, because that's the last thing. If this is a party issue, I can kiss it goodbye. If every person that's registered in my party in both counties votes for me, I'll only lose by a 3-1 margin. So I've got to have other people, and I'm not going to. I think the person running against me is a fine person. Everything everybody tells me, he's a good guy. I hope people can say the same about me, and I hope you can tell others whenever they ask you about voting, who should they vote for. I hope you can say, well, I'm supporting Steve because he's going to help with education. That's my whole reason for running. Now, you don't know how much it makes me feel good that you're here tonight. I want everybody to have a good time. I really appreciate Donnie and the guys playing for us. I've known Donnie for 40 plus years.
Don't tell him that.
Beverly and I started teaching together. I was 9 and she was 8 when we started. So you can figure out how old we are. But they've been good friends over the years. And Donnie made that comment about Coach Aree. I got to tell this, and then I'll shut up. But my first year teaching, Beverly was there teaching kindergarten. I had the 6th grade at North Wilkesboro. And she had a little boy he was a kindergartner, and he had a voice that he could sing bass in the church choir. And I would call him Baboon because that voice. And he would say, Miss Story, Miss Story. And every time I see Beverly out somewhere, she'll have her back to me, and she won't see me. I'll say, Miss Story. And he called me Coach Aree, Coach Aree. And she would yell back, Coach Aree. So those were good memories. I had a lot of good memories in education. I want to make sure your children and grandchildren have the same memories in public education. Thank you.